Hey guys, sorry I've been gone for a minute, just a couple of days actually, but there were some things I had to do. I came back and I said, what kind of content can I create to, talk about maybe current events and so forth. And I decided that I'm going to lump in a bunch of different things so that way we can cover, the days I've missed and probably today. But I did receive an email from somebody who was talking about something that I knew nothing about, something about pop-up parties. So we're going to begin the episode with this, okay? Let's check this out and then let's get to it.
Trespassers using pools, amenities, and damaging property all without permission, making themselves at home here at McNaughton Commons on the east side.
It's terrible. They broke all the stairs, they broke all these umbrellas.
Neighbors fed up, fearing their own safety and even suggesting closing down the pool until these pop-up parties are controlled. Onyx Realty, which owns the complex, says just last week, 2 parties caused thousands of dollars in damage. And when security cameras caught it, trespassers allegedly climbed up and stole the SD cards to cover their tracks. Wednesday night, word spread online that another party was coming.
When I pulled up, there were 5 police cars here, about 10 different policemen walking around and making sure that it didn't look very welcome for people to crash the pool again.
Neighbors say the presence of law enforcement gives them some relief.
Because if they see somebody in a uniform, they think if they need to come or not.
New tonight, some neighbors are dealing with a crisis in their apartment community near Grandview Heights. They called 6 on Your Side for help because they say crime is taking over and hundreds of strangers are too. Aaron Simonek joining us live from Runaway Bay Apartments. Aaron, what you are about to show us is shocking, to say the least.
Oh, absolutely, Jessica. Just imagine hundreds of people taking over this apartment complex who don't live here and don't pay rent, partying at the pool, the beach, and even the parking lot. Neighbors who do pay rent say they're concerned for their safety after even hearing gunshots earlier this month. At first glance, the Runaway Bay Apartments seem like a dream, a picturesque landscape nestled on one of these Scioto quarries.
The gate is not locked. It is a free-for-all for whoever wants to come in and out of this place.
But some people who call it home say it's become a living nightmare.
I've had my kayak stolen, my paddleboard stolen, I've had my car broken into, but yet we can't talk to the trespassers.
Carrie Cassidy has been renting here for a long time and says crime is only the start of the problems. There's a dangerous and disturbing trend happening involving pop-up events where hundreds of strangers take over the property, including the pool, the parking lot, and the quarry beachfront. All of this on private property where they don't live or pay rent. The front gate has been broken for months, with people pouring in day and night with no control.
I'm paying $1,400 in rent here. These people come in here and they act like they own the place. We get harassed, we get threatened with guns, with knives. We've had a shooting here just a week ago at our pool.
This surveillance video shows possible shots ringing out at the pool earlier this month.
I was worried about my mom because she was right there. She lives right across from the pool. I was scared to death for her. I was calling her, making sure she was okay.
Renters wanting to stay off camera say there needs to be more security, accountability, and oversight.
Been threatened to have my butt kicked by men, by women. Had women who have literally had their children running around this parking lot unattended.
And take a look at this scene in the parking lot on Tuesday night. Hundreds of random people partying in the parking lot. Why is this allowed? Neighbors say the police, AG's office, and code enforcement claim it's all on the property owners to make things right.
This is you have a legal right to a peaceful environment to live in. And it's the management's responsibility to provide that.
And a handful of residents tonight frustrated over the management's lack of response. I went over to the property group's managers to ask for comment about what they plan to do in regards to this public safety concern. They turned me away with no comment tonight. Cassidy, one of many neighbors who are now looking for a new place to live. Live on your side, Aaron Simonek, Fox 28 News.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this channel. I would greatly be appreciated. The more you spread the word, the more I can get to reach 500 and be able to do more things. like live chat. I want to do something where we could debate. Just have real talk. It'll be something special for members only, things that others can't, receive if you're a member, so forth. So please help me reach 500 so that way I can do more for you guys and probably improve, grow. I'd love to be like, you have people like the Officer Tatum and them who really invested their time, money, and effort into their videos. And I would like to grow too by, getting more membership, more subscribers, and being able to provide more. So that way you can really enjoy, my channel. So on that note, don't forget, like, subscribe, share this channel, and leave a comment below. I will always do my best to respond to your comments. On those videos I just posted, I did a video, but my first episode was called Black Fatigue. And this is what I'm talking about. This type of behavior should not be tolerated by anybody. I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian. I don't care who you are. This type of behavior should not be tolerated. We have a bunch of hooligans, hoodlums, thugs, just children that just want to behave out of the norm. And the parents, the family, I don't know where they're at, but to allow your kids to enter into another property, that's trespassing already, and that's a crime. And then not only take over their swimming pool, destroy the property because you've already destroyed yours. So there's nothing else to destroy because it looks a rock-socking mess. You go somewhere else where they at least keep their property clean, neat. And all they want to do is live, enjoy their time at home. This is why we have something called work-life, what is it? We balance work-life balance. Excuse me. That's what I was trying to get at. Work-life balance. When we get off of work and we go home, we want to be home. We don't bring the job to our house and we don't bring our house to our job. That's why there's a work-life balance. We separate the two. And when you lunatics, these little young thugs come into the property causing all kind of chaos, you're destroying that work-life balance because now we have to focus on our safety. Okay? We feel safe when we're home. We don't feel safe when we're home and JoJo or Shanae is in the neighborhood causing all kind of problems. And their families, their parents, nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. There should be these kids need to be home doing something. Sports or joining a club or something. Building their minds to become something. Blacks, during Jim Crow, we were trying to prove ourselves. We were trying to show the world that we are more than just a side joke. We were more. And you know what we did during Jim Crow? We created businesses like hotels, supermarkets. We created lawyers, doctors, inventors. I mean, the list goes on. HBCUs. How did you think that started? Because it was such a separate but equal, we had to create our own college and universities. And we did. And it was successful. Up till now, they are considered landmarks because those same schools created very well-educated people. Now look at today. Once Democrats got into our lives, because during the Jim Crow, blacks were voting Republicans because Republicans was not about the KKK and Jim Crow. Democrats were. And up till today, they are still destroying blacks. They dumbed us down so bad that some of the things I hear black people say is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I mean, I just don't get it. And black people today, I don't even know if there's any saving us. Okay, we're about to be fourth in population by 2065. Okay, we're failing in every metric. We lead in illiteracy. It's 2025 and we're still illiterate? Can't read at grade level. Can't do math at grade level. I mean, the number one cause of death for a black person age 0 to 35 is homicide. Homicide, okay? That should be taken serious. Homicide? And most of the homicide is blacks committed on other blacks. But we don't care. The first 48, have you ever seen the first 48? They play some white people and they play like some Hispanic. Majority, always blacks. And I'm not even going to say they're just picking and choosing. They just choosing us. No, I'm saying it because that's us. We enjoy killing each other. We enjoy stabbing each other. We enjoy robbing each other. And no regret. And then you go to the prison system. The prison system is horrendous because now you have to fall into groups. I'm with the blacks, the white. So your mind is all fucked up. Excuse my language, but it's all fucked up by the time you come out of prison. You haven't been rehabbed because the gangs in prison dictates the way you live in prison. So I don't know. I see blacks, we're doomed. And black men, which today are one of the poorest in America, probably the poorest in America, we don't band together. We don't band together. All we do is complain and wish on a star. But we don't band together to say, hey, look, we are seeing that our livelihood is falling. Black men now, that the hierarchy has been destroyed. It's now the black female, the children, and then the black man. And he's replaceable because black women want men that's making money. They're looking for men with 6 figures, even though they don't have it. But that's what they want. Black women don't feel like they need to help lift a man up. They feel like he should already be there. This is why other women are successful with their mate. Because when they put their heart and soul into somebody, they help uplift them. Now there's black women that do that. But we're looking at majority of black women who feel like men should be up there. And when black men are not up there, they're a fry cook, or they're not the manager of a restaurant or something. No, they're just like the fry cook because they have felony records, or they owe so much in child support that they can't get caught up. They can't get their driver's license. They can't get their passports. They can't get anything. And you have to fight just to even get one of them or something. Black women look at them like a burden. And so blacks, I just don't see the unity. I just don't see us making it. And I feel like by 2065 is when blacks are going to be like, we got to figure something out. But by that time, I feel like it's too late. Because by the time the Asian Americans, which would probably be 14% in 2065, once they take over that number 3 spot, the only thing they're going to do is keep growing because the Asians are dominating the education field. And because they're dominating the education field, they're dominating the work field. And blacks are not. We don't get the top job. And it has nothing to do with discrimination. Maybe some bigotry. I feel like some bigotry, like, the way we present ourselves or so forth, they might assume that some blacks can't handle certain jobs. It's a possibility. However, I don't think it's all, you know. Yes, we want to see more black CEOs. You have airline industries. I haven't seen a black CEO. And if there was one, it's really, maybe in the distant, and then that person just disappeared. But I would love to see Delta, American Airlines, Alaska Airlines, Allegiant. Or I would love to see a black CEO. I just haven't seen it. And I'm not going to say it's because of white supremacy, like, you know, the rest would like to say. I just feel like blacks aren't putting their best foot. They're not challenging the status quo. All they're doing is crying about racism and white people holding me back. They're not challenging the status quo. Challenge it. Stand up. Go there and say, I can do this. Give me the chance. Have that resume that reflects your skill set. Don't stand there and just say, give it to me, because you're going to be a failure. That's what DEI is all about. DEI is a failure. It's setting black people up to fail. I shouldn't be the CEO of a big major corporation just because I'm black and I'm crying racism. I should be the CEO of a company because my resume tells you that I can do this job. And as a CEO, you're going to get the resources. You have the resources to be successful. You just have to believe in yourself. But when you get the blackity blacks who just love to play victim, you just set yourself up for failure. That's all I see right now.
A massive group of people started a brawl when they got off their cruise ship yesterday. So I'm going to play the video for you here. These people have just gotten off their 7-day Carnival cruise from Cozumel, Mexico, when they land in Galveston, Texas, which is one of the worst places to ever sail out of. And 24 people have now been placed on the do not sail list because of this fight. It's kind of just like a do not fly list on a plane. If you end up fighting with somebody in an airport, you'll get put on that list. As you see, security guards start running, but there's not much they can do. Even police get involved. You'll see them come in the picture right here. The Carnival cruise ship said this happened under U.S. Custom and Border Protection, which is where they're at right here. They were coming back into the country. And as you can see, the people even start to push the officers right there. And then the officers couldn't control them. So they start fighting the officers and then start fighting each other again. This is absolutely crazy because these 24 people will never be able to get on a boat ever again. As you can see, there's women, children, old, young. Everybody was just going at it. We still don't know exactly what caused this, but you guys let me know what you think.
And look who it is that's causing all the problems. Like I said, mostly blacks. So those incidents happened on Carnival Cruise Line. And I just played one that just happened last month, June 7th. As you can see, we've become very violent, throwing chairs, tables. We don't care. We are violent. It seems like we're always angry. We get violent. And black men are so stupid because the women will fight. And if you ever look at the way, men and women get, prosecuted, or whenever, the prosecutor offers like a plea deal or something like that, women always get lesser time. That's the truth. The men get the brunt of it. Now, this whole man and woman stuff, I'm telling you, things have changed because the man will get most of the time and the women will get less time. Less time. Like, if they get into a fight, less time, the man will do some time. So men are, especially black men, they're stupid. Straight up dumb. And they're going in here fighting, and it's probably a man fighting for a woman. I don't even know what it is. All I know is that whenever you see a deal on a Carnival cruise line or this other one now called Margaritaville, and you see these very low prices, and they show you all the amenities that you'll get with it, and the shows and everything, and it looks great. It looks great, but expect bad behavior to be on it. Now, am I saying that everybody else, white people, Hispanic people, I'm not saying that, because I'm sure there's some out there that act up. What I'm saying is the majority of people, the ones that cry victim all the time for any little thing, even when they're wrong, are blacks. And as you can see with these videos, once again, they're out here performing in some of the worst ways possible. Okay? We just don't know how to control our emotions. We act stupid and belligerent, and don't let us get some alcohol. We become completely ignorant and just disobedient. And sooner or later, there's women out there crying, "Oh, Carnival's discriminating." I would do the same thing too. I take it a step further. I make y'all take a test before getting on the ship, because half of us can't read or write. And I need to know that I got people that can get on a cruise ship, enjoy themselves without causing problems with the bad behavior and insulting others. And I mean, it's terrible. I mean, extremely terrible. But now black women, because, black men, we have no cojones. We can't sit down and get together to say, because black women are hurting black men too, especially, like I said, with child support and the criminal, with calling the police on blacks all the time and insulting us in public, destroying our character. Yet we tend to just stay quiet and be sitting there talking about queen this, queen that. And then when you're in jail, sitting for a long time, she's not waiting for you. She's not waiting for you. She's looking for high rollers. And she's a low roller, but she wants the high rollers. And the black man that's working in the kitchen is not a high roller. Okay? Yet, we'll go defend them all the way to prison. So now we got these women saying that Carnival Cruise Line is racist and, this and that, and it's just crazy.
Carnival Cruise Line does not like black people, and they don't want black people taking their cruises, okay? It started off with the speakers telling people that they can't bring speakers no more. Why would you not want people to be able to bring speakers and listen to their own music? Anyway, now Carnival has banned rap music on their cruises. Now, I've been seeing little posts here and there the last couple of days that Carnival is not playing rap music in the clubs no more. But this morning, I actually saw a video of somebody in the club. There was nobody on the dance floor, and they were literally playing soca music. And the caption was like how they asked the DJ if the DJ could play some rap music in the club, and the DJ let them know that they're not allowed to play rap music anymore. So they put on soca. Now, y'all tell me, a place that does not allow rap music and rap music only, no other type of music is not allowed to be played but rap music. Y'all, please tell me, what is the demographic of people that they're trying to keep away? And Carnival, y'all got some nerve, because y'all are mad dirty, y'all mad cheap, y'all mad ghetto. Every time I see a video of Carnival, the stairways is all rusty. Y'all got a whole documentary out here about how y'all ships be catching on fire and shit mixed with piss all on the walls, all on the floors, and y'all got beef with rap music. I think y'all have bigger fish to fry. And it's so crazy because I've never been on a cruise, and I always said, like, when I go on a cruise with, like, me and my homegirls, like, without my kids, we're gonna go on Carnival because it seems like that's the party cruise. I don't bring my kids in, like, high volume areas. Like, I would take my kids on one of those, like, calmer cruises. Oh, yeah, but now Carnival won't be seeing me, baby. I'm good, love. Enjoy.
So I heard Carnival cruise ships are banning rap and hip-hop music. Oh, okay. And the craziest thing about it is I've seen a lot of videos and a lot of comments come out. It's only on the Conquest. And someone was on the Freedom and they were playing rap music the other day. So what's crazier to me is if this isn't a targeted attack, I don't know what is. Because if you know anything about Carnival, Conquest is one of the lower budgeted ships. And I don't mean that as shade. I mean, like, it's just one of the more affordable ships. Freedom is one of the bigger ships, one of the bigger, newer ships. We know who goes on the budget-friendly ships. It's us. So Carnival, what's the problem? Please be so fucking for real. Fighting against your main demographic that's keeping you afloat anyway is crazy, and trying to reframe and rebrand yourselves to be like Royal Caribbean for the people that don't even want to be on your ship in the first place is diabolical. Diabolical. And the audacity after y'all just had a documentary come out about a poop cruise for a ship that you still have in production. Y'all got bigger things to worry about, bigger fish to fry, if you will. I was gonna go on a Carnival cruise for my daughter's birthday this year. I think we just go ahead and go to Royal. Sorry.
So see, those are the ignorant blackity blacks, but there are some smart ones. And these are the kind of black people that I would love to associate with, because I do not like the ignorant ones.
So people are calling Carnival Cruise Line racist. They've banned the clacking fans, boots on the ground. Apparently they're no longer playing rap music, and they're not allowing people to bring their speakers on board. And the speaker part, I completely agree with, because nobody wants to hear your fucking music. But let's all take a guess why they're making these new rules. Do you know how pissed I would be if I paid my good money and pulled up to the cruise ship and that's what the fuck I saw? Yeah, they're trying to prevent y'all from turning their cruise line into the sole plane of the waves. Yeah, a lot of y'all trifling motherfuckers ruined a good thing. Yeah, bringing your drugs and your liquor on board, fighting in the clubs. Because let's be 100% real. If that was your business, you'd want to make some fucking changes too. Because me, as a person of color, when I see shit like that, I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should spend the extra money and go with Royal Caribbean or Norwegian. Yeah, because when I go on vacation, I'm not trying to get assaulted because Taquisha had too much Hennessy.
So just remember, what they have so many budget deals out there. Carnival, Spirit Airlines. Oh, there'll be some fights on Spirit Airlines, and it's us once again. Spirit Airlines, Frontier, Carnival, Margaritaville. They're cheap, affordable, and you can get on these cruise ships. Before, at one time, you can't get on cruise ships, and when you did get on cruise ships, now I'm talking about at a time when it was very expensive to get on cruise ships because they offered you so much. You had to come. I mean, you don't have to wear flip-flops anymore and look like you just came out of a trailer. You had to be dressed up. Same thing with the airline industry. At one time, just for you to sit in first class, you had to be wearing a suit. You had to be dressed up. You couldn't just wear anything to sit in first class, because at that time, the amenities were so great that, and that, you were to be treated in a certain way. That's not how it is today. And now anybody can sit in first class. It's still up there. So, you don't get all the crazy ones sitting in first class, but airlines like Spirit, Frontier and so forth, Allegiant, you're going to get some wackos. Southwest, you're going to get some wackos. And they get on the plane. They don't know how to behave. And then when they love to sneak their own liquor and take it from somebody who worked in the airline industry. When they tell you that you cannot bring your own alcohol, it's not the airline industry. Trust me on that. It is the government. The government and the flight attendants and the airline will get fined if somebody do sneak alcohol onto a plane, drink and get drunk and then act belligerent. Okay? What the heck? Anyway, This is why the government bans it, not the airline. So I hear people say, "Oh, they just want us to buy their own alcohol." No, it is the government, not the airlines. I promise you this. But anyway, these low budget carriers, I always say stay away from. Now, I'm not saying go look for the high expensive ones, but for some reason, the moderate price range is where the hood rats and so forth seem to stay away from. They like the low budget ones, and then they get on there and they don't know how to leave their ghetto life at home. They bring it with them and then cause all kind of ruckus. So that's just a quick reminder to let people know to stay away from them. Now, going on, I wanted to talk about the transgender issue. So I guess President Trump, the Supreme Court's going to make a decision, on transgender in sports or so forth. I once again say, let them stay. Because I do believe that women should be in women's sports, men should be in men's sports. And if you were born a man, and mind you, like I said, I have nothing against transgender gays. I have nothing. Okay? I have friends that's transgender. I have friends that's gay. If I wanted to be with a transgender, that's my business. If I want to be with a gay man, that's my business. Okay? Nothing against them. The conversation is about biological men, biological women. Is it fair competition if a biological man is competing with a woman in, let's say, track and field, boxing, anything that, men have a much more advantage over women. Biological now. So is that fair? And I've talked to a lot of my transgender friends who said that it is not fair. It is not fair. So Caitlyn Jenner is 100% correct when she fights against transgender being in women's sports. It has nothing to do with any kind of discrimination or anything like that. It has to do with the advantage. Because biological men, and let me repeat this again, biological men are stronger than biological women. It is a proven fact. Okay? More testosterone, even though I know a lot of transgender men are pumping in that estrogen in them, but transgender women have more testosterone in them than biological women. But right now, I say let them in, because I don't hear from the extreme feminist group who said that a woman can do whatever a man can do and can do it better. Okay. Even, Obama said that silly comment.
And former President Obama has you talking. He says men are to blame for the world's problems.
Just false.
If every nation were run by women, quote, there would be significant improvement in just about everything. And although women aren't perfect, they're indisputably better than men, end quote. So DML Nation, do you agree? Are female leaders better? Take it away, Erica.
Tammy from Facebook says he's absolutely right. Women are better than men. Tammy, I think this is a great example of the need for representation. And I think that what you get from a lot of female leaders is a sense of empathy that may not have necessarily been at the top of the list for men who have led historically. A big part of that has to do with the dynamics, the messages that we were all told, not just women that we were inferior, but men that they were somehow superior. So I think what we're seeing right now is a balance of the sexes. And I think he's just trying to get across the point that women make exceptional leaders as well, because we bring a different skill set.
All right, Jimmy from Facebook says, well, why didn't he pull out and let Hillary win? It's easy to talk a good game when you're trying to please your radical liberal base, but your actions say different. Jimmy, first of all, let me address President Obama. Everyone already likes you. Now you got to come out with this quote about women. What a kiss butt. You know what I mean? Yeah. Listen. Now you're going to rile up all the women on the panel, and they're going to give their opinion on that we should be run by women. How do you know, Obama? We never had a woman president, so how do you know they would be better? He's just trying to kiss butt around the holidays.
Trans women are women. It's a phrase we hear all over the internet. As a trans woman, I'm here to explain why that phrase is true and what being trans is truly about, because there are so many misconceptions about what a trans person is, why we transition, but what it mainly comes down to is that we were born that way. It's been proven that trans women's brains are biologically hardwired, more like that of a female than a male, which causes gender dysphoria, which makes life really unhappy in a male body. So then we transition. It's not a fetish, it's not a costume, it's an embodiment of who we are.
So I didn't get a chance to play the video of Obama standing with Hillary Clinton saying that women can do things better than a man, and heels and so forth. But I digress. It's going to the trans women being women, and as you can see, they come up with all type of reasons why a biological man who's a transgender woman is a woman. Now, female, woman, to me, they're all the same. And actual women can have a period and can have a baby and can produce milk from their breast. A biological man cannot. If there's some white stuff coming out of his nipples, it's probably cancer or something. Or he's been fucking around with something that he should not be doing. But he can't have a baby. And if he can, then I'm in the wrong planet somewhere, because men cannot have a baby. Men cannot have a period unless somebody shoved a knife up his behind. Men cannot have a period. And so, this notion that transgender women are women is crazy. However, I still say let them play sports, because when these extreme lesbians were running the feminist group and saying that they were better than men, they could do stuff better than men, they're stronger, they said all this stuff. It was basically making women be with women. And hey, if a woman want to be with a woman, that is fine. That is cool. But don't sit up here and try to manipulate us to make you think that these extreme feminist group were doing it because women's rights would be there. Women's rights are not being taken advantage of. And especially as of right now, it definitely is not, because the women are the breadwinner. And that's the truth. Both black, white, I don't care who it is. Women are the breadwinner here in America, okay? Men are struggling. They're struggling in the hierarchy. They're struggling in salary. They're struggling. They're struggling to keep, to prevent like anything. A man has problems. And so I say let transgender women play, because when it was the other way around, you guys loved it. Y'all didn't say anything. And now that transgender women are kicking ass, they're whooping women's ass in sports or whatever. They're taking the men, because transgender women will do whatever it takes to be with a man. Okay? When women sit there and have taken advantage of a situation for far too long, the transgender women stepped in, and now they're doing all that wild, crazy stuff, stimulating men. And now these men are running, following transgender women. They're getting their butts plumped up. They're doing breasts, big old breasts, everything possible to get a man. And they will bend over backwards to hold on to that man. And the women today are so into themselves and what they, and how all of this, extreme feminist ideology, that they're not paying attention to the bigger picture. Okay? And I don't see not one extreme feminist person or representative speaking out to defend women, Because if you ask me, this is a woman's rights right now. Sports especially. Women and men cannot compete. They cannot compete. So basically what women and men have to do is play, and they have the WNBA, they have the NBA. Because if the NBA played in the WNBA, women, we wouldn't even know who some of these women. Caitlin Clark would be nothing. Obsolete. And as of right now, NBA still dominates over WNBA because the men, they're more aggressive, more excited. And the women want to be like the men, but people don't want to see that. They want to see women playing basketball. So I don't know. This has gotten really ridiculous, and I don't know what to say. Now, I was listening to somebody talk to me about immigration laws and President Trump making bad decisions that's going to harm America. And they said that countries like Germany have learned from their mistakes and why Angela Merkel was such a success. But I digress. Angela Merkel was not a success. Angela Merkel was a disaster for Germany. And I printed up a list of things that I felt decisions Angela Merkel made that helped destroy Germany. Okay. Number one, energy dependence on Russia. So, because of the Fukushima incident that happened in 2011, Germany felt that they needed to get rid of the nuclear power. So they phased that out and then supported the Nord Stream, which is a pipeline going from Russia to Germany or to Europe. By doing that, it made Germany so dependent on Russia. So when Russia do some bad acts, Germany stays silent. Because since Angela Merkel's stupid self phased out their nuclear power, they can only rely on Russia. Okay? And this is why Germany had to, which I think played a role in the 2020 election. Germany needed Trump gone because Trump did not support the Nord Stream. He wanted this was to prevent Russia from expanding their power. But because of Angela Merkel, now they just have to rely on Russia. And Russia's playing them for fools, okay? And that because now that dependency is a major liability. And after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, it exposes Germany's vulnerability. Because when you need Germany to step up and put a stop to this Russian aggression into Ukraine, Germany can't do it. Why? Because they're too dependent on Russian oil. Really sad. Thank you, Angela Merkel. What a disgrace. Another one was the refugee crisis management. So in 2015, Merkel opened Germany's borders to over 1 million refugees from like Syria and other areas. And Syria had that the civil war. So she opened it to them and to other countries that was having issues. Maybe the Gaza, I'm not sure. I know they praised her for her humanitarian act, and that was great and everything. But there was no strategic planning. They didn't understand, like, bringing in that many refugees and Germany's infrastructure, what was going to happen. So the housing, employment, all that. So the people went to the streets and started acting wild and stupid and causing all type of harm. And that was Angela Merkel. She destroyed the German foundation. And everybody's going to say something about Hitler and all that stuff. No. Because Hitler was born in Austria, and we're past Adolf Hitler. We are looking at Germany, how they evolved into a country that actually people love to travel to. Germany became a very very powerful country in Europe. And when I say powerful, not military, anything like that, financially, with business and everything, like they were growing. T-Mobile, I believe, came from Germany, for crying out loud. But now Germany gone through like issues because they allowed the refugees to come in, and she did not sit down and look at the infrastructure into Germany. And so now, without, all these people running the streets, you lack of housing, all that stuff. Germany's in a tight situation. The other thing was the eurozone bailouts. Remember when Greece and Ireland and them was having like this debt crisis, and they wanted the EU to bail them out. So Angela Merkel supported this, and I believe she did bail out these countries, which hurt the taxpayers. So now she has to, jack up that money a little bit more to bring in revenue for the country. Okay. So they did bail out these countries, and that moved deep in the north-south tension within the EU, undermining trust and solidarity. It caused a lot of problems because when they did this EU, I'm sorry to say, this wasn't thought through well. Okay. You got the EU, but you have different countries with their independence. So you have countries within this one thing, like, how can I explain it? The United States is one nation, and in the United States, they have states. There's one currency, okay? Each state handles their budget, but the currency comes from the government, the government which controls the nation. Their job is to protect the nation from enemies, both foreign and domestic, and to keep things stable. The states receive money from taxes from from residents there, and the government allocates money to each state, and then they have to budget those money within the state. The EU is totally different, and each country dictates how much money they have and so forth, and the EU have no control. So when one country goes into debt, now you have to find, we're talking about maybe trillions to lift up this country. Okay? They're not by states anymore. They're by countries. Each country make their own decisions, make their own laws. There's nothing like the United States. States have their laws. There's a separation from the state and the government, but there is national laws that every state follow by. And that's why they have the executive branch, the Congress, and the Supreme Court. Because the Supreme Court, when it makes a decision, it is the law of the land. The President of the United States execute the laws. Okay, Congress creates the laws. So see, this all falls, and this is why the Constitution is probably one of the best documents ever created. Even though they want to say it's racist, best document ever created. I have to tip my hat to that. The EU is all over the place. And when you allow countries to just dictate how they want things done without one into one nation, the EU should have had each country become one. They're following one money, yes, but each country has their own laws. It's not like how the United States is. This is why the United States have a little bit more stability compared to the EU. It's really bad. And so I feel like Angela Merkel, when she bailed out Europe, when she bailed out Greece and Spain and all those places, she did the taxpayers of Germany a disservice, because this isn't like the EU bailed out Germany, the country bailed out with their money. It should have been the EU, because there's a whole one thing. If the United States bail out a state, which that doesn't really happen. If the United States wants to help, let's say, Ireland, bail out Ireland, then that would be from the Treasury Department, the Federal Reserve, but the taxpayers would not be burdened with the payments to Ireland or something like that. Taxpayers get burdened with other dumb stuff, but not like that. So I think the eurozone bailout was a bad move. And if people feel I'm wrong about that with the creation of the EU, which I think was stupid, please reach out to me, and you probably can educate me on what's best with the EU and so forth. I think it was stupid because, like I said, you have different countries. They have their own budget and everything like that. You have the EU that give money. And then when these countries, it's not falling into one, when each of these countries have issues, and then you got the EU sitting up there. I mean, it's stupid. The head of the EU, which I think Germany is a part of, it's really stupid. I guess there was some pension reform and aging population. That's, let me see. What does it say? Merkel's government did not implement major pension reforms despite Germany's aging population. So Germany does have that aging population. There's a lot of old people that's still living in Germany, even with all that beer and everything out there. These people, they're surviving. I give them credit. But, yeah, it's not looking good for Germany at this moment. Projections suggest massive top-ups to the pension system will be needed, straining public finances. So in Germany, I remember when I was out there, a lot of the old people, they get pension because it's different from how the United States do pension. You know, the business, each corporation or business, they do pension, which they basically it's been eliminated because now we deal with the 401k. But Germany, people working and they get a pension every month. Well, these people are living, and they're living for a long time, and these pensions are running out. Okay, and you gotta get ready to fund the next young people because the government want to run things that way. So there's people that's getting older, they're getting ready to hit retirement. It's like the Social Security. The way Social Security work is I'm paying into Social Security. That money goes to the older people who retired already, who already paid into Social Security. And the pension plan is something like that. Okay. So, they paid into it. That money then goes to the old folks while the young folks are coming up and when they retire. But old folks are living long. They're sticking around. And a lot of them are retiring. And like I said, they are living. You know, old folks aren't doing dumb stuff out there like how Ray Ray and Shanae are doing, running the streets, shooting, killing. You know, no, these people are living. And that pension money is going to be soon ready for the next one because soon they're going to retire. And when you have so many people not joining into the workforce, well, that pension money, you got to find that pension money. That's going to hit into the government has to now start funding, which will now straining public finances. That's what's the problem. So that's something that I feel is one of the problems. And Angela Merkel should have dealt with this a long time ago. She didn't. And so now there's some real issues going on with Germany. So, yeah, I think when I hear people bring up Germany as a prime example of what a country should be and America should be like that, I tell them different, like, you must be crazy. America is probably one of the best countries on the planet. Okay? Capitalism, though it's not perfect, is probably the best thing for America and for the people that live in America, because only here in America can the poor become rich. Can lose it all, but can become rich and become powerful. Only the poor can, being poor, can start a business and create a corporation. The poor can do that. People in the middle class can invest their money and can become wealthy, successful. That's what capitalism is all about. Okay? It's not like Russia. It's not like socialism. this country has the best opportunities for everybody. And I don't want to hear racism. I don't want to hear oppression, because everybody can become something. Okay? In America. Now, I'm not saying because we're still going to always have the poor. You always have the rich and the middle class. But this country was designed so that people who's poor can become rich. You know, with hard work, determination, they can become successful. And that's the truth. And finally, I want to talk about the big, beautiful bill. So it passed Congress. It passed the House of Representatives, and it should reach the president's desk tomorrow for signing on America's 250th birthday. So that's going to be a great day in America. My personal opinion on the big, beautiful bill, I think this is a great thing for America. Tax cuts and a lot of other provisions within this bill that should basically help out America, see America's growth, and so forth. It will address the debt ceiling. So a lot of people don't want they saying they're spending money on like the debt ceiling to cover the debt ceiling. But I was just thinking, like, why would they have something like this in the big, beautiful bill? Well, what happens is that during every month or so, Congress has to come to some type of agreement on raising the debt ceiling. And since Republicans control the House, Democrats would then start saying, well, if you want our vote into raising the debt ceiling, then these are the kind of agreements we need. And the agreements that they pick the agreements that they offer are things that would raise the deficit or the debt, actually. It's a lot of spending. So Democrats would say, this is what we want. And then the Republicans would have to agree to them or not agree to these demands. And more than likely they would agree because they cannot they cannot not raise the debt ceiling, because then you see military people not receiving any money, certain things, certain programs not being paid, like towards the military, defense, things like that. So by adding this into the big beautiful bill, it would protect the government or Congress from having to go through this war on raising the debt ceiling. So I think that's a good thing. I think Elon Musk was not happy about that, especially with this debt ceiling. And I understand where they're coming from. Why do we have to keep raising the debt ceiling? But since now this country is basically on inflation and things like that, I don't care what anybody say. The debt will continue to rise. Spending will always happen because there's no backing like how it used to be when the gold standard was the way to go. But now, since that was eliminated, this country relies on debt, inflation, things like that keeps the world revolving. And so, as you notice, America, along with other countries, the debt just keeps going up and up, and it never goes down. And you're going to be hearing from all people talking about adding to the debt. They only say these things because it's it plays well in whatever they're trying to spew out. And this is all politics. However, the debt will never drop. So it baffles me why we keep complaining about the debt and how much we're adding to it. We're going to always add to the debt. It's not going to stop. It's going to continue growing. I don't care who's in the White House, who's in Congress, whatever it is. This is the way it's going to be. And I'm sorry to say it that way, but that's exactly the way it's going to be. So, but right now I'm happy that the big beautiful bill passed.
The yeas are 218, the nays are 214. The motion is adopted.
Great day in America. Great day. And I really feel like this is going to be another huge win for the president. So congratulations to the president. Congratulations to Congress. And congratulations to America for finally doing something that's going to invest more into the American people instead of the government or the elitists, as they like to say. On that note, guys, thank you so much. I'm glad I was able to catch up on a few things, and I still have more videos to make. Please remember, like, subscribe, share this video. Leave me a comment. You can write me at themarkperspective@gmail.com. You can write me about anything. And please, let me know what's on your mind. If there's something you feel like I should talk about, please let me know. I'm always willing to talk. I'm the first to say I don't know everything, so that's why it's my perspective. This is how I feel what's going on, and we can always have those debates. But once again, like, subscribe, and share this video. It's always going to be original. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to add AI to this. It's always going to be me and how I feel about certain things. And I hope you guys appreciate the originality of this show. And I'm going to present more of it just like this, original, and people like you can then interact with me, hopefully once I reach 500 members, and then we can really have some great discussions. Okay, but on that note, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to see about purchasing a robot vacuum because I can't always sweep the floor, and I'm not here all the time, so I definitely need something to just go across the carpet just to make sure, or the bare floor actually, just to make sure it's getting cleaned. On that note, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.